Alright, we're finally back after a long time away. We're continuing on where we left off about 3 months ago. So we're on edition 25 of Warhammer Stormbringer. We've got a little bit of a terrain piece here. Sort of a little fountain and a little treasure chest. This edition also came with some more lore for the armies of chaos, so there's all that good stuff. They got their little depictions. I wonder how much people get paid to make these. Anyway, let's get on with building this thing so we can get further into the rest of the stuff that I have a backlog of. Alright, where are we? So once these were icons of civilization and power of Azir, now they are brutal testament to centuries of war. Okay. It's a bit much of an explanation for just a little chest. Alright, it wants us to build the chest first, so let's get to it. So 10, 11, and 12. Although this has... okay, it has G and... it just has G before the numbers, I don't know why. So that's 12. So hopefully we can clip this out without much cleanup. That one. 10 and 12. These things. Alright. So there shouldn't be too much cleanup on this. Zoom in a bit for this. Just those little knobs. Actually, this probably would be a bit better for that. Alright, where was the other spot? There it is. Actually, I might need this little thing. Alright, and there's one on this piece, which probably need the hobby knife just to make sure it doesn't flatten out the curve. Warhammer doing its usual part of putting the sprues on the visible facing parts. This one's actually kind of a bit tricky to clean down. Yeah, it's still visible in there. Yeah, I think that's good enough. Sort of. I don't even know if that's really coming up on the camera. Anyway, that one's cleaned up. Now I can move on to this one. Okay, that one's easy to clean off. It's just this little nub here. Alright. And then the front facing one. So that's sort of what we're dealing with. Just a piece sticking out very obviously. Just need to scrape it off. Without digging in too much. It looks good enough, I guess. Just an imperfection in the ruin anyway. As these are supposed to be sort of broken. Okay, so that's done. Just a tiny bit of cleanup on the edges of this thing. This one shouldn't matter too much. It's just that I know that they're there. That's the only reason why I even bother with these ones. Because it annoys me that I know that they're there. So I like to have everything cleaned up. Alright, that one's done. Okay, so this is a gluing one. Which glue is the new glue? I think it would be this one. Alright, so dry fit just to see if they line up. So they fit together quite well. So just sort of holds in. I don't like that there's a line all the way through it, but that's alright. Should probably zoom out of this a bit. So that goes in there. I actually wonder if there's any way to make that fit a bit better. I don't think anything is in the way. Yeah, that's just how it goes. Okay. So yeah, I just glue. Although it doesn't show to glue, it just says. But yeah, that's not coming out, so we'll glue it now. Alright, hopefully this glue is still usable, because I haven't used this in a couple of months. I can smell it already though, so that is a good sign. And it's coming out, good. I am glad I bought this new glue. Because the old glue just constantly got stuck. Okay, so it sticks together. And then we just glue the base and glue it down. It's probably a bit too much glue, but at least it will stay. Okay, so that's in. And it's not going anywhere. So now we need 13 and 14. Each of these two. This should be fairly easy to clean up because they're flat surfaces. Maybe just a quick run over with the knife. The Games Workshop deburring tool has its uses, but it does seem a bit not refined in its cuts. Does get the job done faster though. Okay, that one's done. Okay. Does it specify which way these go? It'd have to be that way. Question is, how the heck do these glue down? Okay, so maybe I glue the bottom of this first. The lid is attached after, because the rib rests on the pillar. This one has indent dots. I don't know why though. Okay, so that one goes on the back. That one goes in there, okay. So maybe I glue the bottom of this first. Because these don't actually fit together. There's nothing actually to hold these, so... We glue this one first, we chuck it in, and then we glue the side of it. And put the other one in. The instructions are not clear at all on this one. Okay. So that's in. Then we can glue up the bottom of this and the side pieces of this. So now, oh crap, I'm just touching glue. I did not think that through. Okay, that should go there. And that should all just stick together. Let me get this glue off my hand. Alright. So the chest piece is done. Let me just check something real quick. Alright, so that should be dry now. So that's all. Let me just zoom it in actually. How far can I zoom in? That's quite a way. So yeah, that's all glued in now. So now we just need the top piece of the chest. So 15. How do I cut this? Okay. This might need a tiny bit of cleanup. It's a lot of little details on this one. Okay, that's about as clean as I can get that. Now for the other one. Oh, that came out quite easily. Just need to actually get it off there. There we go. Then on the other side, the same thing. Alright, that piece is cleared. This side, and then we can see how this goes on. Because it stays like half open, weirdly enough. Might have made a bit of a mess of this side. Okay, that looks alright. So the yeah, so these pieces go into there, but this is supposed to sit against the okay, this is kind of awkward. So those pieces are supposed to, okay. Yeah, lining this up is a bit of a mission. So the part that it sticks into isn't really like a proper recess, it's like a tiny one. It doesn't really let's see, right there is where you want it. Okay, or is it a bit further? Okay, this is going to take a bit to get used to. Right there, that's where it wants to be. Okay, so the only thing I can really glue is that and maybe the side piece. Yeah, lining this up is not easy. So right there, okay. So we glue in that crevasse. So basically glue this. That's a bit too much glue, and then just dab some glue in there. And then hopefully we get this in pretty quick. Right there. Right there is where it wants to be. Perfect. We actually got it. What? Maybe tiniest bit of a push that way. Okay. So we got it to go in. It actually has the hinges. It's a very finicky glue on. Most of the glue was basically in that corner, like right there. Okay, so that's done. We're gonna leave that to the side so it dries and I don't knock it over. Now for the big piece, the fountain. Okay, so take out the big piece obviously. Is there anything left over actually? Can I just take it all out? So that is 4 cogs, or 2 cogs? 3. So there's those 3 things. I think they're emblems, not cogs. Got those 2 bowls. Yeah, I can basically cut out everything. Okay. Nothing's going to be extra. So I might just, yeah, clip everything out and then clean them up as we need them. Okay, that's the big piece. Oh, still attached. Okay, there's that. There's the 3 cogs. Emblem. Yeah, the little lion face emblem thingies. Although cutting these is going to be a bit of a mission. So I have to not cut the actual emblem piece. Okay. How do I do this? You know what? I'm gonna cut around and then cut into it afterwards. Although we'll use this as a test piece actually, to see if I can actually. Yeah. So just to show how bad this is, there's all these tiny little spiky bits, and then the things attached to the corners. So there should, oh, fucking it over there. So there's like a line for where the actual triangle is, and then there's the sprue. So I'm lining that up on camera. If I can figure out where the camera is. So I have to cut it Okay, no, that's not working. Zoom out a bit. So I have to like cut along the triangle. Which is this way. Oh, that actually came off really easily. But yeah, this is hurting my eyes looking at this because it's so tiny. One cuts this way. And that one cuts this way. Now that's going to need a tiny cleanup. It's quite possibly one of the most awkward pieces for me to clean. And I've got another 2 to go. Like, it would have been nice if they had just chucked one sprue piece right here at the back, but I guess them injection molding it might have been a bit of an issue. Okay, on this one I can at least, I think, cut direct, so I don't have to do the double cut. If I can get the cutters in there. Oh, damn it, okay. Gave the actual main piece a bit of stress there. Yeah, I'm just gonna clip that. Okay. Yeah, it amazes me how tiny this is, and they expect you to take it out perfectly. Okay, I'll cut this piece. I think that's it. Just needs that cleaned up. But yeah, my eyes are hurting looking at this tiny thing. Oh, there's a big chunk on that. I don't think it snipped off properly. This really puts the miniature in miniature. Actually, I think that's kind of munted. Crap, okay. That piece is kind of broken. But that's fine, it's supposed to be a broken down well thingy anyway, so we can leave on some of the stuff. It's as much as I'm going to get from that one. And there's one more tiny one. Okay. Click that. This one's going to be a problem. Yeah, that one sort of ruined the thing a bit. And then that one came out clean. So let's see what happened there. Yeah, we kind of just mushed the piece. Okay. Let's put these here so we don't forget them, because they're so tiny. Okay. Let's get to clipping out all the other easy stuff now. Just got the two main thingies here. They're going to be pretty easy to clean up. This one's going to be a bit more tricky, just because it's curved. Oop. Drop that down. There we go. At least that flame piece is attached to this, because I thought that was going to be a separate thing. I think that's it. Oh no, there's this base. Okay, so there's all those pieces. So, clean up on the main. It's not going to matter too much because the edge of this is all cracked and everything anyway. So leaving a few imperfections from the sprues isn't going to be that big of a problem. Alright, I think this might be the last side. Ah, missed that piece. And I think that's where we started. Alright. So that piece is cleaned up. Got this piece now. Should have a whole bunch of spots. This piece is fairly easy to clean. Alright, now for the finicky pieces. There should be a bunch of small spots in here. If I can find them. Oh, they're on the inside. Okay. There's one on this piece though. And one more on this side. I think that might be it. Okay, so that obviously goes on there. And then these go on the edges, do they? It says them into a line. I guess they kind of do. So that one... They're given curvature perfectly to fit on this. But your placement is kind of not specified. So you just have to try and center them as much as you can. So yeah, let's just glue this on first. Just checking that it is... Oh, so that's a separate piece. Oh, okay, yeah, we'll just glue this on then. Try and spread it somewhat thin because there's so much area. It's not gonna really matter. It's gonna stick no matter where it goes down. Okay. Yep, there we go. That's glued down perfect. So yeah, we just sort of try and center these as much as possible. So it'll be a dotted glue on the back. And then an attempt to not get my fingers full of glue. That looks centered to me. It kind of looks centered to me. I would hope so. So I have to do 3 of those, just freehand, basically. This one might need a tiny bit more fix up. I'll probably just make it worse. Okay, I think that piece is fixed up. So that will sit as middle as possible. So a line I guess that line there will be where it goes. Alright, one dot of glue and then an attempt. Is that? No. A bit more that way. I think that line. Okay. Does it look centered? Kinda. Maybe not. I guess it's centered enough. It's not perfect. And then this one, sort of white mark on it. Let's try and get rid of whatever that is. Honestly, just making it worse. Okay. A bit dot of glue and then again trying to get it on. Alright. We'll line it up. That's a bit more centered, I think. Okay, so that's done. Oh no, okay, so the middle piece is part of that. It just goes in the actual middle. Okay, so this needs cleaning up now. This should be fairly quick, because it was only 4 pieces on each side, I think. So let's see if I can use the curve of this to cut that out. Yeah, I'm still not sure what I think about that tool. It seems to do a good job, but it also seems to add extra damage to the model. Okay, so that's that one. Actually, maybe I should get rid of these mold lines as well. That's what this tool is for. Removing the mold lines, which it does a great job at. Okay, still need to clean up this. Yeah, so it works well on the mold lines, but not so much on the sprue bits. Kind of scrape that up a bit, but that's fine. It is a damage fountain after all. It'd be interesting and nice to have a curved scalpel, just to go around edges for cleanup. I don't know if that's feasibly possible though. Like, you could make them, but I don't think it would have a mass production sort of financial benefit. So I don't think anybody would actually make those. The scalpels are for cutting, not for scraping. Okay, so that's those two pieces. So they stick together like that. So I could actually probably glue that and then try and use the mold line remover to actually combine them properly. Okay, so that's fairly well stuck. Okay, then the bowl pieces, which should be minimal cleanup. There's one here and then two on the other sides. Alright, that's that one fixed. Let's try and not scoop this one this time. Yeah, I scooped it. Oh well. Yeah, that's alright. Okay, so those pieces actually have little nubs that drop in. Yeah, so that sort of levers its way in. So it might actually be worthwhile gluing, because this doesn't actually tell you where to glue for the first time out of these things. It doesn't actually tell you which parts to glue. But I would say this would be the right choice. So it glues in like that. I am so lucky that that was the right one, because I just realized these are two different pieces. That could have gone bad. I could have put the wrong one in. Okay, let's push that in just so it actually locks in there. And then we can glue this. And then that one should do the same. Just sort of roll into this position. There we go. Let's get that lined up properly. Okay, it's fine that it looks cracked, because the whole thing is cracked anyway. So that piece is done. We just need the last of this. And this needs cleanup as well. The last part was on there. I think that's it. Oh, and then there's the bottom of this. It's just, where's the, there it is. Just try and rub that down a bit. Okay, so that fits in there. The way it's supposed to be is broken piece back there, flaming piece facing that side. So it fits in that way, doesn't fit in that way. Doesn't. Yeah, so it has to be that way. The question is, how do we glue this piece on? Ah, there is a little... Okay, this is finicky. There is a little, thing. Ah, we need to clean this off first. There's little tiny notches where these actually fit into the other piece. They're tiny though. let's see if we can line this up. Okay, so that specifically goes in that one. Oh, it's so fiddly. I don't know how I'm going to get this glued without causing problems. Okay, let's look at this again. So that goes there. I think. There we go. Okay, so that's the way it goes. It's just actually getting the glue and then not screwing it up after that. Just glue in there, glue in there, glue in there, and glue in there. And then this just goes in like that. Perfect. We got it. Oh, okay. That was probably not on camera, but yeah, so I finally managed to glue the second part onto this. That was quite finicky. Okay, so this piece goes into this at a specific angle. I think it's this way. Yep. It goes in that way. It's a bit touch and go. But yeah, it definitely goes in that way. So just chuck in some glue. And that should be it. So there's the little top of the fountain lantern thing. I suppose the water's supposed to come out of that. And that just fits on the actual fountain somewhere. It just push fits. Okay, so that piece push fits. The painting on this looks very interesting because the painting colors are all like beige type of. Okay, let's see the finished product. So that's what it's supposed to look when it's completely finished. So it's actually this way. I suppose it doesn't really matter, and I'm not going to be gluing that in anyway, because it is push fit. But yeah, that's an interesting little fountain. So a fountain and a treasure chest. So two terrain pieces. Put them off to the side. Okay, so that one's done. That's 25. 26 I think is paint. So we can just have a quick look at that. So we got a contrast paint and a base paint to add to our paint collection. They're kind of grimy at the moment, but at least they're watery. These are really old paints. I've had these for like two to 3 years now. But yeah, so Corn Red and Gryph-hound Orange. It's got a little magazine in there. It's just a bunch of more lore stuff. Lumineth Realm Lords, Daughters of Cain, Ideneth Deepkin. Oh, there's some Gork stuff. Gork and Mork. Or Gork and Mork. And yeah, just gameplay stuff and painting. Okay, so there's a bit of painting stuff for the Gryph-hound stuff. So this little red stuff goes in on some of the orcs. Some of that red paint goes in there. Other than that, there's pretty much nothing in there. So yeah, we've got those 2 extra paints. So, number 27. This is 6 Gryph-hounds. Oh, this is going to take a long time to build. And then the next magazine is even... I got my work cut out for me. Alright. That's a lot of stuff. What the heck? So one of the injection molds has a weird little nub that came out wrong. It's kind of humorous. Okay, so I've got 4 of these. Actually, 2 of them have the weird nub, where the plastic sort of just strewn across a bit. Okay, are these the same or are they different? They're all different. Okay. Actually, no. Okay, so it's 2 of the same sets, and they fit over each other perfectly. Yeah. So it's essentially just 2 sets. So you double up, it's 3 Gryph-hounds each. Or, I think there's extras actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 8 sets of heads, so there might be more than just 6 Gryph-hounds in this. There's a bit more stuff on the orcs. Yeah, Gryph-hounds. So this is another glue together, and this one actually tells you where to glue. There are 3 different Gryph-hound bodies, and you'll build each one twice. There's 1 Gryph-hound alpha in the units, which has the crested head. So, not one of those. That's the crested head, so that's the alpha. So I've got 1. I'm guessing it's that piece. Those 2. So I've technically got 2 heads for it. Yeah, so the first one they want you to build is the Gryph-hound with the crested head. Yeah, there should be 2 spare heads left on the sprue when you've completed. So yeah, there's 8 heads, but only enough bodies for 6. Alright, let's figure out which one this is. Because these have different numbers, right? No, okay, it's just straight up the same, okay. And that is a thick sprue. So we'll take out one of the heads. So the two heads that will be left over is a alpha and then just a normal. Hopefully we're not going to actually need any cleanup. Looks like those cuts were actually fairly well done. Yeah, it's just a tiny piece on the head there. Let's try and get that off without flattening anything. Okay, I think that'll be good enough. Okay, and there's one piece there. Okay, that's clean. There should be one more contact point somewhere. Which I cannot see. So it is possible that one cut off really cleanly. Alright, so that's the head. It goes together like a chicken. Let's see if I can get that centered. If it will stay in. Yeah. So the little head just goes in and it's like a chicken. Hello, man. Oh, the music tributes. How's it going? Alright, so we can just glue that together. Just need to figure out all the parts I actually need to glue. It should be through here, through there, across there, and maybe there. Okay, that's the Gryph-hound done. No sound? You can't hear me? Hello? That sounds like there's sound coming through on the monitoring. Although you're on Twitch, so sound should be coming through. Let me check. Alright. So unfortunately Twitch does not have sound, but we're already fairly far into it. Let's... Yeah. I might just continue on. Well, that's unfortunate. But yeah, I put through a setting that does specific encoding for Twitch. It's a beta feature though, so that's probably what's stuffing up. I need to turn that off. So 5 and 6. Okay, clip that. And 6 is this one. And give that a quick clean. Okay, so that part, and there should be a third. Ah, it's right on the knuckle there, or the wrist of this thing. It's actually kind of hard to get to. So if we can just kind of flatten it down a bit. I don't think that's really going to be noticeable, so that's fine. Oh yeah, there was a piece on the tail as well, which is minimal. So I'll just give it a light scrape. Okay, so we probably need this. Alright, that's kind of done. I really struggle to clean off the rounded edges, mostly. These flat parts are easy. Okay, I think that profound is complete. Let's just check that everything is meshing properly. Looks fine. No extra bits on the inside. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay. So it's wanting us to glue this piece. Okay, there we go. Just give it a bit of a push so it actually gets rid of as many of the empty spaces in between. Okay, so that's done. Then the head just goes in. There are spots for the head to actually sit, so that's actually quite good. There's like two little spots where these stick in. So that's an easy glue. There we go. There's the head. That's done. So that's all in there now. It's got a little spike on its chest. So that's the Alpha Gryph-hound. So there's still a heap more to do. These are fairly quick and easy. But I think I will leave these for next time. Especially seeing as we are having audio difficulties on Twitch. I think we will leave these maybe for tomorrow. So I'll give us a good run, and then the next set has all of this stuff in it. So we've got a lot of work to do on the next run. 5 of these should be popped out very quick, and then that will take a lot of time. So I may be on for gaming in a bit on the gaming channel. But thank you for watching, and see you next time.